Stages of Grief, Janet Tarasofsky.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, Canada, there lived a princess. Her name was Miss Happy. One morning, Miss Happy woke up and said, "Oh, what a beautiful day! The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and I'm in love. Happiness is outside." Miss Happy turned to cuddle her boyfriend when suddenly she stopped smiling. Moments of the night before flooded into her mind: the argument, the yelling, the breakup. He said he was in love with a 22-year-old girl called Miss Big Boobs. 10 years of happiness over. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, when I was 10 years old, all I wanted in life was to fall in love. Because that's where the Walt Disney movies told me I would find my happily ever after. When I was 37 years old, all I wanted in life was to sue Walt Disney. Because this happily ever after they spoke so highly of swept me right off my feet and then straight into the bin. I was dumped. Have you ever been dumped? Doesn't feel good, does it? I took it really badly. I had to go through the very famous Kubler-Ross 5 stages of grief in order to recover. And I'd like to tell you about those stages with the help of some of my very favorite friends, myself. So let's begin with stage 1, Miss Denial. Miss Denial showed up the very morning that Mr. Man left her. She sat on her bed and thought, Mr. Man didn't leave me. He's having a midlife crisis. He's gone temporarily insane. He'll be back. I give him until next Monday at the latest. You see, Miss Denial, she wasn't ready to accept the pain that she was going to have to go through when she would realize that Mr. Man is not coming back. And he did just walk away with all their dreams and all their plans. Have you ever had a moment where you refused to believe the truth? Like you, sir. Do you still tell the ladies you're 29 years old? Well, when Miss Denial's boyfriend didn't come back that Monday, or the Monday after, Miss Guilty came and took her place. Miss Guilty, she had a hard time getting through the breakup. She would walk around nervously, talking to anybody, asking questions like, "Do you think it was my cooking? Tell me, sir, should I have had that operation? Is it possible, sir, that I should have worn that nurse's outfit he bought me because I thought he was joking?" You see, Miss Guilty, she saw the end of her relationship as a death. The death of her own identity. She didn't know who she was without Mr. Man. And she thought it was all her fault. But after some time, she realized, it's not my fault. It's his. In comes Miss Angry. Miss Angry immediately starts screaming, "How dare he leave me for a younger woman with bigger boobs? I gave him the best years of my life. Somebody get his stuff out of my house, sell it, burn it, give it to the poor, and for the love of God, could somebody get me a Guinness?" But after some time, Miss Angry started to calm down. She started to see her pain, her anger as a measure of the pain she was now finally feeling. And once she realized this, Miss Sad came and took her place. Miss Sad spent most of her time in her bedroom crying because she believed she would be alone for the rest of her life. She believed that she wasn't worth loving. She believed that no one would ever love her again. Surely you've had a time where you have wished, no, you've begged, you could just disappear, vanish. Well, that is how Miss Sad was feeling when she suddenly remembered something that Mr. Mann had said to her many years ago. He said, "Janet, you can never love anybody until you learn how to love yourself first." Until you learn how to love yourself first. And with that thought, Miss Sad started to exercise. She started to call some of her old friends and do some hobbies. She even wrote a letter to Mr. Mann full of anger and tears. And then she burnt it, let it go, and went to bed. The next morning, Miss Sad was nowhere to be found. Instead, Miss Hope had taken her place. Miss Hope is your moment of clarity. She believes in you. Hope lives in all of us. It's what gives us the courage to look inside of our hearts and the strength to move on. Miss Happy learned never to define herself by her own relationship. Perhaps we can all learn from that lesson. It is so dangerous to rely on somebody else for your own happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was 37 years old, I learned that happily ever after does in fact exist. But never look for it outside. It can only be found inside of yourselves. Mr. Contest Chair.